Today is only the 6th of September, so it's a preview really. But before the crowds come, I thought I'd start by doing some of the interviews about people's bonsai journeys. And as I already showed on the previous one where I interviewed Warren Radford, so the second of our interviewees is, we all know her as Caz, but I'm going to ask her to introduce herself. So can I ask you, Caz, tell us something about yourself, your proper name, not Caz, we all know you as Caz, and how you got into bonsai?
Right, hi, I'm Caz, or my real name is Caroline Scott.
Oh, very posh.
This is my display for this wonderful event that's taking place tomorrow. I've got a Juniperus chinensis Ichigawa that I've had for approximately 25 years. And shown along with that is a Zelkova serrata, Shohin, really nice tree with really good nabari. I've had that probably only a couple of years, but it works really well in this 3-point display. I've been doing bonsai for approximately 34 years. I'm probably showing my age a little bit there. It's been my lifelong passion. I started out helping out at Willowbog Bonsai, going to all the workshops up there. And you can probably tell by my accent that I'm a northeastern individual.
North of Watford, as they say.
Right. Just a little north of Watford. So Newcastle upon Tyne, Northumberland sort of area. And as I say, I've been doing bonsai rather a long time. I now go around the country teaching and displaying, and it's absolute honour to be asked to come down here to Herons, which is world renowned.
Well, how come our paths never cross? As I said to a lot of other people who come here from time to time, as in life, journeys are like walks you take through life. People can walk on a journey, you come across people, you don't say hello to them, you don't really know them, and we pass each other like ships in the night.
I think so.
But I don't think we've even passed each other, because you're up north and we're in the south.
Yeah, I think I've met you, or just briefly at the expo a year or two ago.
All right.
But that's been about it, because obviously we are at opposite ends of the country. So, but it's brilliant to be down here.
But a lot of people don't realize, in a small country like Britain, there are so many talented people, and some are more talented than others. And I was told by Kevin that you are one of these great, great artists. And I have now I've seen some of your work, and I've now seen this beauty. And for those of you who follow our channel is a channel followed by what we call ordinary people. They're not bonsai experts or bonsai connoisseurs. They're just ordinary people, but they enjoy bonsai. So when they see something like this, they may get frightened. They say to themselves, can I aspire to this? So what is your answer to that? You know, look at a beautiful thing like that accent planting there. Every bit of it is unique. And this is what they call mind your own business, isn't it? These are all weeds. Yeah. They're all weeds. And yet you can create something as beautiful as this. You know, so what does it take to get to this standard? Can you tell our viewers?
I think generally learn as much as you can. Go to workshops, read, watch the YouTube videos, but just learn. There's so much to pick up out there, and you can. If you've just got the right attitude to move things forward, you can produce great trees. You'll see them at this event. You've just got to just push yourself forward and just be forever willing to learn.
All right. So we can take a little walk outside and leave the boys to set up the rest of the display. But many people wonder, you know, you've been doing it, you said, for 34 years. So how did you actually come into bonsai? You know,
I came into bonsai by, I actually just saw one in a magazine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Not at a show or anything.
it was a famous old pomegranate tree,
Okay.
and I was just flicking through a magazine, and there was a "Why Not Try Bonsai" in this magazine, and I was just awestruck by this miniature tree.
You're a horticulturist, someone told me.
I've got an art background and a horticulture background,
Okay.
so I think that helps massively. I was 20 years as a graphic designer.
Oh.
So
So you're artistic by nature.
yeah, I think I went to art college for 4 years, and I worked for an advertising agency for 20 years. And then I was made redundant at that job. I'd been in that industry for a long time, and I decided I wanted a change. So I thought, let's go into the horticultural business because I loved plants. I'd been doing bonsai. And that's when I kind of moved things forward a little bit and started in the more horticultural side of it.
But
so
you didn't train in horticulture?
A little bit. I did do a little bit of have a horticultural background, but that came like a little bit later on. So, but the art side of it and the horticultural side of it has been a massive help. Where bonsai.
And then you joined the club. How did you get into bonsai proper? Did you learn from someone?
Willowbog Bonsai. That used to exist at the time. I used to go there, and they used to have a lot of teachers.
But not to a club. You just went to.
There was a club, the Northeast Bonsai Society, but it doesn't exist anymore. It's clubs sometimes can do that. And I was the secretary there for a while. I also started up the British Shohin Association. And I've just wanted to push forward with my trees all the time.
Yeah. Right.
So,
but as people say, the bonsai community, like any other community, whether it's keeping canaries or keeping cats and dogs, it can get very strange, you know.
It can.
We won't mention, derogatory terms, being catty or political.
Yeah. You've just got to rise above it.
It's like any other.
You do it for the trees.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it's the trees. And trying to pass over the knowledge that I've accumulated over the years, trying to pass that on to other people so they can get their trees better and better. And so they can get their trees into shows and benefit from all of that as well, because it's a fabulous thing.
So do you come across people who are absolutely new and raw to bonsai?
Yeah. Both new and right the way through the spectrum, through pretty experienced. Yeah. So it's and I love teaching both. Okay. It's a great thing.
Excellent. So I hope you enjoy this.
I'm sure
weekend,
I will.
Yeah?
I'm sure I will.
It's only a one-day event.
Yeah.
And thank you for coming all the way.
Well, thank you for putting this on. I think it's a brilliant thing.
Okay, and thanks to Kevin, because we all have someone in common. Kevin is the magnet,
Kev's the man, as to say.
All right, so enjoy.
Thank you.
Enjoy your tree.
You take care.
We have the next of the exhibitors here, and I will ask him to introduce himself. And this is a beautiful sloe. It's nice to see native species around, and this is the only deciduous, and perhaps not the only deciduous, not the only indigenous species, but it is unique. So if you come close and look at it, it's in fruit, and look at that beautiful wood. I think I saw it in flower at Expo.
That's right, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it won then.
Great. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. And the pot goes well with the tree. Everything looks lovely, it matches the color of the pot, the fruit. And the accent, what's the accent? Well, before I go too far, can I ask the exhibitor to introduce himself to the audience?
Hi, my name's Steve McKee. I'm from Northamptonshire, and I've been doing bonsai now for about 40 years.
Okay.
In fact, this is my 40th year.
Really? Okay. All right. So, Steve, nice of you to come. And if you can tell us something about this tree, and then I'll ask you about your bonsai journey.
Right. This is a Yamadori, which is collected. It's a Yamadori Prunus spinosa, or a sloe, or a blackthorn.
Yes.
I've had the tree now, it's into its 6th year. And what I did was I bought it from a friend who'd had it collected, and another friend had collected it. So I knew exactly where it had come from in Wales. So it's a Welsh Yamadori. And my friend said to me, when he saw it, he said, I've seen the tree exactly like this in the cockapoo. And I looked at this tree and I thought, yeah, there's a lot of similarities.
Yes.
So what I decided to do was to emulate that tree.
Yeah.
And
Was it
pay homage.
collected
But that
almost
was-
like this? Did you
Yes,
have to
but that
go-
was a cherry.
Oh,
It was a cherry in there.
but was it in a different position, or did you eliminate some branches?
Well, yes, there was a. This is where there'd been a branch.
Oh,
What
this
we-
side.
Yeah, and it was coming out there. It was quite ugly,
Okay.
which had been chopped off. And then what I've done is I've hollowed it out there.
Okay.
But if you notice there, the whole trunk is hollow,
Oh,
and you can go right
I
in
see.
there.
Yeah.
The whole thing is actually
Yeah.
hollow.
Okay. But the actual curves were found like that.
Yeah.
Did you wire some of these to
No,
shape that?
no, that was
Oh,
it. That's
oh,
how I got the tree.
Beautiful.
That there isn't a straight line on it, which is what I quite
Yeah,
like.
Beautiful.
So I had the pot made. It was in a different pot. I had the pot made by Stone Monkey.
Yes, very
I
nice.
like the shape and the colour.
Yeah.
And this is from a chap called DR Tables, and he makes his he plies his trade out in Belgium, and he's a fantastic
Yeah. You
cabinet
could
maker. Makes the most
tell
beautiful
the
tree.
difference between, these Chinese or
Yeah.
Japanese tables, so authentic.
Yeah, it's pure quality, and he
Beautiful.
copies everything off the Japanese very, very
So
well.
are most of your trees deciduous, or you have a range or collection of
I've got a
different
bit of
species?
both, but I've got a tremendous amount of Yamadori, and the Yamadori was brought to my attention by Kev Wilson.
Yes.
I saw him do a demonstration many moons ago, and he
Oh.
said how much nicer they are for different things and pieces.
Okay.
And I just thought to myself, do you know what? I'm going to collect Yamadori. So I went and I actually collected quite a bit. And then I've also bought quite a bit from friends as well. So yeah, I enjoy my Yamadori. You've got to work with what the tree gives you. You can't
sure.
create it. You've got to work with what the tree gives you.
So tell me about your bonsai journey. You've been doing it 40 years, which is a very long time. A lot of people, maximum, they've done it like 30 years. Don't talk about me. I started in an amateurish way about nearly 60 years ago, 1966. But those were early days. I'm what is called the second generation of British bonsai people. There was another generation from the 1950s and 60s. I got into the scene in 67. I didn't get active till about 74. So what was your experience? Did you join a club, or did you do it on your own for
My
all these years?
first experience was buying your book.
Really?
Yeah, and buying the Bonsai magazine that had just come out.
Oh,
So I read in that, and then I started to go to Peter Adams, and Peter Adams
Yes,
was my
okay.
master teacher.
okay.
And I learned a lot from Peter Adams. In fact, even now when I look at trees, I think, what would Peter do with them? I just liked the way he was doing things.
Okay.
And he seemed a lot more advanced than some other
Okay.
people.
Right.
And then I went to Kevin,
Oh.
and I was with Kevin until he moved away for a while.
Mainly for carving?
No, I liked his styling, so I like the way he
Yeah.
styled things. So I'm not really a massive fan of carving.
Oh, I see.
I like natural carving. I
Yes,
like natural gins and sharis,
Yeah.
but I like things to remain as natural as possible. I'm not a big carving fanatic.
All right. One thing about these trees, cascades and semi-cascades are very difficult to look after because the natural tendency of most plants is to go upwards, isn't it?
Yes.
And the lower branches tend to die. Like the cover of Bonsai Masterclass, the first Masterclass, was at Scots Pine. The lower part has died off now, so I've changed the style of that tree. So what do you find about cascades, semi-cascades?
Well, I think I've cracked it in. I've got as much strength in there as what I have in the top,
You reckon?
as what I have in the bottom. And the reason for that is I tilt my tree.
Oh.
So my tree is tilted.
Go the other way.
Yeah, so it's under a block of wood, so it gets lots of light.
I see.
And it gets even sunlight at the bottom as
Okay.
well.
All right.
So that's the way I do it as well. So
Okay.
it seems to work quite well. And it's also, I think the important thing is you must learn to feed a tree and feed a tree well. Even if a tree is very, very old, you must remember that still needs the feed, although it doesn't need a lot of heavy feeding, in that it doesn't need lots of nitrogen. It needs a low nitrogen, it needs seaweed fertilizer, but it does need feeding. So it's little and often still, but not massive amounts of big bulking up sort of stuff.
Any advice to people who are just starting their bonsai journey?
Yes, enjoy every moment
That's it.
and don't make anything a rush. It's bonsai. Bonsai, you just take your time and you enjoy it. And you do bonsai for yourself.
That's right.
If you enjoy a bonsai, then who cares what everybody else
Exactly.
thinks?
That is my
And then
attitude as well.
You'll go from bonsai to keeping them in the garden to keeping them alive.
Yes.
Because I was always going to bring a book out, and it was called "I Had a Bonsai Once It Died," because everybody says that to us. And then you join a club, and then you have the guts to show your tree to a club, and then you start exhibiting, and then all of a sudden that bug bites you as well. So my journey now is from keeping trees alive to now, which is I like to exhibit my trees at as many shows as I can.
Yeah. All right. So people can enjoy it.
Yes, I'd like other people to enjoy my trees as well.
Right.
And I also do it on Instagram as well.
Oh, good.
And that's Bonsai Steve, and that goes down very well as well. Because you get people from all over the world for that one, don't you?
Okay. So thank you, Steve, for coming. And I really appreciate what you've done for the bonsai community.
Okay, and thank you very much for the invite, Peter.
Okay. Nice to have you.